Hey guys, welcome to Our Thoughts on This, the best conversational podcast in the universe. Today we're going to be talking about modern music classics and kind of their iconic covers and how that kind of goes into what makes them classic. Um, so to start off, to introduce us, my name's Jason.
I'm Alex.
It's Ali.
I'm Shakari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Before we get started, I kind of want everybody to talk about their music taste before we start talking about modern music classics, so people can kind of understand where we're coming from on this topic. So, I'm actually gonna throw it over to Trey, Chikari. What are your music tastes?
My music taste, I would say how do I describe it? I feel like the best way to describe the type of music I like is I like anything that's kind of like experimenting with itself. You know what I'm saying? Experimenting with the overall how something is supposed to go. So I mean I listen to rap mostly, but I think a lot of my favorite rap artists, just the rappers who I think have experimented with the sound and kind of changed how rap is supposed to go. So for me, when I think about that, I think about guys like Vince Staples or Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator. I think about guys who just kind of they've taken kind of what rap is traditionally and added this kind of flair personality to it. I think they generally kind of guys like For Real or 2000, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the
Yeah.
type of music that I like.
All right. So you would say like experimental rap, hip hop.
Yeah,
How about
yeah,
R
but
and B?
yeah, I mean, I just do a lot of stuff. You know, I've been listening to a little bit of folk lately. You know, just just everything, anything that
Yeah.
kind of sounds unique, except for
All right.
country. I can't find country's just never
Are
been
y'all
for
like
me.
Oh
country?
my God, bro. You're missing
What?
out.
What? Country
You're missing out.
road.
I've listened to
What
Chris
about you?
Stapleton before. He's good.
Oh man, I like old country. You know, the music where they used to talk about beating their wife. That's what I
um,
miss.
oh,
Oh,
cut that out, cut
when
that
you
out,
said
cut that
old
out.
country, the first thing that came to mind was Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not
I don't.
old enough.
I don't know. I don't know if that counts. But
I don't think it does.
Um,
uh,
cut
I,
that out.
I I was thinking more Marty Robbins.
I
Mm.
don't know who that is. So
Exactly.
I
That's.
was more thinking
Oh, you got to give
Confederate
him a
battle.
listen.
You know,
Um.
start playing the Confederate battle songs. This is North
Mm.
Carolina, born and
Oh boy.
raised.
How about
Oh.
we move up that timeline a little bit?
Oh, that's too far back. That's too far back. All right. Cool. What about you, Ollie? Like, what are your music tastes?
Well, I like that older country, more like 50s, 60s, 70s era.
Okay.
Um. But for the most part, it's like really chill music. Um, I like some like the older 70s and 80s R&B. Um,
Do the Suicide Boys count as chill?
I don't think they
no.
do.
Well, they got a couple chill songs. They got a couple chill songs. Um, and when I first started listening to them, those are the only songs that I listened to, but now I'm like getting more into oh, excuse me, more into su excuse me. Wow.
Bless you.
Thank you. More into like Freddie Dredd, City
Mm.
Morgue, Zil
Zillikami.
Zillikami stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And
Zillikami.
Paris, Texas
Oh yeah, they're good
Ooh,
is
too.
love
like,
Paris, Texas. Love Paris, Texas.
yeah.
So, what do you listen
But
to
I'm
when you
also
work out?
into when I work out, mainly those artists.
Okay.
But then there's some days then I'll listen to like SZA and what's that? What?
No,
Yeah,
Why
I
are you
why are you
just
laughing?
laughing? Why are you laughing?
This is a safe space.
Yes, it is.
yeah, yeah. Would you say
I
that you're opium, Ollie?
What?
Opium. Okay, so never mind. You're not opium. Okay.
No,
oh shit.
explain this. Explain this.
Uh, I am most definitely opium. I am most definitely opium.
Opium is what Cardi B's label is called. No, not Cardi B.
Cardi
Playboy
B.
Cardi.
Oh,
Playboy
whoa,
Cardi.
whoa.
Hey, Jason, you're opium?
I'm opium.
It's pretty
So,
quick. Our
so
label is called Just Very Lonely. Homicide Gang, and like one other guy that's probably not a good person's on it, something like that.
um, dude, I love Opium. I've been listening to Playboy Cardi since the beginning, since his SoundCloud days.
We'll talk about Red being a whole lot of Red
Whole
being
Lot of
awesome.
Red. Whole Lot of Red is the best album of all time.
Oh,
But
boy.
before we talk about that, no, I'm joking. I'm not being serious. But before we talk about that, I think Alex has kind of the most interesting background. So I'll kind of let Alex explain his relationship to music a little bit.
Yeah, and Jason and I were talking about this before we started recording, before Ali and Trakori joined us. So this will be the first time they might be hearing this ever. But I do not really listen to music. I mean, I do listen to music. However, if I had the choice, I don't know if I would. And I know I obviously I have the choice. It's not that I'm forced to listen to music. It's just the only time I listen to music is when I'm at the gym. And when I'm at the gym, I don't like being the only person there without headphones in because that makes me just feel like uncomfortable for whatever reason. So I put them in and I said, well, if I'm going to have them in, I'm going to play music. And so I'll play whatever the top charts are on the US that Apple Music has, basically. And so I just play. It's a lot of pop, it's a lot of rap. And so that's the only time I really listen to music. And so I'm at the gym for maybe an hour a day. And so I don't listen to music for more than 6 hours a week.
So you don't listen to music when you're working or anything? Just in it?
Absorbing nature.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's a couple times I've tried to like put on like just like some sort of like random like study like just focus music, but like it doesn't really do anything for me. And that's the thing that I was telling Jason earlier is I just don't think music does the same thing for me that I know it does to a lot of people. I don't feel connected to it in any real way. And so it doesn't really do much for me, and so I don't really feel the need to listen to it.
Do you
think
listen
that's
to like do you listen to like podcasts and like audiobooks in the place of music, or is it just nothing at all?
I will listen to podcasts when I drive, especially to work and back. I will listen to podcasts, but like Trakari was asking, at work, I don't really listen to anything. At home, I don't really listen to anything. At home, I'd much prefer to be watching something than listening to something. And so I do watch a lot of movies or YouTube, that type of stuff, which has background music, obviously, but I'm not watching it for the music.
Yeah. Okay.
And
what were we saying, Trakari?
I was just convinced. So, like, do you think that's just like a product? Do you think that's just music in general, or do you think that's just a product of not like taking the time to search for an artist who you think you can really connect with?
I don't know. I feel like I can enjoy music for sure. Like when I'm at the gym, I enjoy it. Like it sounds good, but like I don't listen to like what they're saying or like care about like what the lyrics are. Like I enjoy the melodies, I enjoy the beat. Sometimes you'll hear like a verse or something and like that will like stick with me and I'll be like, oh, that was pretty cool. But I don't know. I haven't really tried ever searching out for somebody, so I don't know if I would ever have that experience of being like, oh, this is somebody I can relate to. But I just don't. For now, no.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And what I was thinking, because of his he's like the most casual listener of music that we probably all know. So I think he would have the best ability to be objective on the topic of when you're talking about modern music classics.
I'll also be extremely ill knowledgeable because I won't know most of the stuff you're talking about. Like anything that Ali said, I had no clue what he was talking about. The only thing that made sense to me was when Trakari said SZA.
Oh man. Wow. That's crazy. Because SZA is trash.
What?
Um,
Whoa,
Hey,
whoa,
okay.
whoa,
All
whoa,
right.
whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey,
Sorry, that
remember,
slipped
I know
out.
where
That
you
slipped out.
live, okay?
Cut that out, cut that out.
All right,
Those are fighting
hey,
words.
pull up. Um, pull up. Meet me outside. Uh, and also another thing I kind of wanted to define before we get deeper into this topic is kind of
Have you given
where are we
your
defining modern? Oh,
music preferences?
dang, I forgot about myself. Look at me putting other people first.
Opium.
Um, so when you talk about my music taste, I'm very all over the place. So I would say my core genres are rap and hip hop. That is kind of what I grew up on. Uh, like pretty much any other black kid in existence. So, but a lot of my my music comes from the '90s to like early 2000s, mid 2000s, pretty much. It's kind of where my cutoff is. So yeah, I love Nas. I love
Oh
Nas.
boy.
Illmatic is the Bible. Nobody can tell me differently. Um, and
What
then
is the
Amen.
difference between rap and hip hop?
the difference between rap and hip hop is you can have a hip hop song where there's nobody rapping.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so that's kind of like
I
rap
just
is
know some
kind
people
of
have like really different distinct. They kind of like the distinctions kind of get blurred for some people.
yeah. Well, I mean, because there some people claim they're rappers, but they have no idea about hip hop. I feel like you can't have rap without hip hop. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. And then I kind of jumped genres into like more punk rock and more kind of emo music because I grew up on lots of Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Tony Hawk Underground and like the old Need for Speed games. So yeah, I love things like Deftones. I love Rage Against the Machine. I love Goldfinger, Clash, the Ramones,
Yeah.
uh, Bad Brains. I love stuff like that. And then like kind of like shoegaze, Midwest emo type stuff. So like American Football. One of my favorite bands out right now is Have a Nice Life and Glare. So
Yeah. When you
kind of
speak about video game soundtracks, I feel like that's how like so many young people get into music, even now. Like just like whether I have like 2K soundtracks or whatever thing. Because I know how you talk about Need for Speed. Like Need for Speed Underground is how I got into like a lot of rap. Like I remember,
oh,
what was it,
yeah,
Shake Your Ass by Mystical? That was the
yeah,
first Underground.
dude,
So yeah,
dude,
like and then I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. So like just a
no,
lot of that music just like carried over and just like I had NBA Street. So like yeah, and NBA like NBA Live '04 or whatever. So just like
so
that's how I found about Outkast because they had ghetto music was on that
yeah.
soundtrack. So
See, and that's
yeah,
that's why I feel like with because younger kids have just music like with streaming and stuff,
yeah,
they get exposed to so much more music so much quicker than we do. They get I feel like we get a lot of more newer subgenres because of that.
yeah,
Um, but like me growing up, like if it wasn't in a sports game or in like Need for Speed or Tony Hawk or anything like that, then I was forced to listen to whatever my parents were listening to on the radio or my grandparents.
yeah,
So like if I was with my grandma, it was gonna be gospel music. If it was with my grandpa, it was gonna be country music in like 70s and 80s, like or 60s and 70s soul and funk. If I'm with my mom or my dad, well, my mom is gonna be more modern. With my dad, it was gonna be more rap stuff. So um yeah, I kind of feel like by my exposure to multiple different genres, like the only thing I don't mess with is country. It's literally here. It's like country and K-pop are the two things I can't get into.
I always like feel disappointed that I'm not more in the country just because of how similar the content is to what I like about rap in a lot of ways. So I'm always just like, man, like I feel like I should like go like because I think I just haven't peered through like the mainstream level of country to find what I like kind of like rap. You know, I feel like it's kind of the same where you have to like peer through the stuff that you don't like to find the stuff you do like. You know, because like all I've heard is like stadium country and like that type of like beer drinking, like Sunday church, like that type of Florida Georgia Line type stuff. I haven't really heard like I haven't really found the stuff that really sticks out to me yet.
The thing
Yeah, me
about country
personally.
is, oh, go ahead, Ollie. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
all right. Me personally, I like that storytelling country.
Mm,
Um, I just like that like timeline that I can follow, and it just sounds a lot better in my opinion than like the basic. I got a big truck, I got guns, I got a wife, who loves me, you know,
Yeah. You watch the
Who loves you? Maybe. Who loves you? Maybe
maybe.
is the important part.
Except when Jody's cheating, then I gotta get in my truck with my gun and go.
Oh, oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Let him know. Let him know.
Talk to him. Kind of what I was gonna say was like the difference that you're getting into is like the blurring the lines between folk music and country. So like
Yeah.
with folk music and country are very intertwined. So once you get
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Ollie starts getting there close to that edge where it starts to mix, which is
Yeah.
the hard part because you talk about like I feel the same way about most modern country. Most modern country is I like my Ford truck. I'm gonna drink and drive. I might go home and beat my wife. I hate her.
Oh boy.
That type of stuff. That type of stuff.
But
I'm like,
like
wow.
I will say, like, I try not to make that because people make that same generalization of rap where it's just the glorification of drugs, gang, and violence instead of like
Well, they're
storytelling.
not wrong. They're not wrong. A lot of this
Well,
modern stuff.
I think don't let's. I disagree, but
No, I was just joking. I was just joking.
but I do think so. Like I do think there's country out there that I would like. I just need to take time to find it. But I do like try to stay away from the generalizations because that's like, because obviously there's like storytelling. Because even like I listen to country musicians speak about how they perceive, modern country, and it's just kind of like you see that they kind of have this like disdain for it because it kind of takes away from the original intent of what the genre was trying to accomplish, which is kind of just like display the different circumstances that like people who maybe like Nashville, like just Tennessee in general, and Georgia are facing. So like, yeah, I just say that just to keep in mind, like, not to generalize it.
Yeah, no, I understand you. I was joking mainly. I was mostly joking.
I was like at least 65% joking,
Yeah, at least 65%.
maybe even 45, but let's not.
Um, but yeah, now kind of like with that said, I kind of want to hear. Like I don't know if you guys have any lists written down or anything like that, but I kind of want to hear Ali's like a couple of his modern music. Oh wait, did we define a timeline yet?
I don't think we have.
Did we just? Okay, when we say modern, how far back are we going? Because
So you looked at the topic. I was thinking modern. This isn't going to be in it, right?
This could be in it.
Okay, I mean,
We're doing this live.
that Alex is
We're
editing
doing this live.
it, but
I can edit out
when I
whatever
was
you don't want in.
that's what she said. But when I edit that out, but when I was thinking about the topic, I was thinking about maybe like 2010 upwards, because like I feel like that's a good, maybe 2011 and upwards, because I just feel like that's a good like point, because I feel like 2010, like that period between 2010 and 2016 is where we really see this shift, at least in music, because of how dominant rap becomes as a genre in American music, not just even American, but all across the world. So I think we see like kind of this like shift in like this drastic shift in sound with guys like Odd Future, with Kid Cudi, with Kanye, Travis Scott, with all these guys just experimenting with sound, So that's what I was kind of thinking. But you guys are obviously not entitled, but like to give suggestions.
No,
I'm good with saying post 2011.
Okay, yeah, it works.
I was thinking 2011 is a good timeline too, because if you go back to early 2000s, there's so much. There is such a different time. So I think 2011
I will
is a
say
good
those like
start.
early 2000s like bling rap covers, like Ludacris type covers and stuff. I love those, dude. Those are awesome.
Oh, dude.
Oh
My God. Freaking Ludacris was out of pocket.
dude. Ludacris is crazy.
Luda. All right. So kind of with all that said,
Should we also define what we're considering like iconic albums, like what makes an album iconic, and like or can we get into that as a conversation?
We're talking about the songs themselves right now.
I think we're just
no,
talking
I think we should keep it to albums because
Albums.
once
Okay.
you hit Yeah, once you get into nitty gritty of songs, it gets insane.
Yeah.
So how do we
Because
approach singles?
ooh, that's a good thing. I didn't even think about that.
What do you
I
mean?
don't
Like
know
in what
any
way?
I think we should treat them as albums.
Treat
I
them
mean,
as
because
their
we
own
can. Do you
album?
mean
Okay.
like just single releases
Yeah.
or like EPs? Because like I feel like.
Either one.
I mean, I feel we can talk about them if they've like made it like a landmark, you know. Because I feel is if you're reading this too late, like a full. No, not that. Back to back when Drake killed Meek Mills. That's like a single, but that cover is like iconic now. So
Yeah, yeah, no, that's facts. Um, y- dude, that's so facts. Um, yeah, so I think yeah, things like singles, if they didn't get added to an album later,
yeah,
if they were just standalone singles or EPs, I can think we can kind of leave them to themselves, or they can be included, I should say.
Okay.
Um, but I kind of also like I want to focus broader on albums because I feel like
yeah.
Well, I think
More
Drakari
discussion there.
asked how we would define what we consider classic. Is that what? I don't want to
Yeah,
speak for
yeah,
you,
I
but
was
oh
is that
yeah,
what you're
asking, but
saying?
I also think we can kind of discuss that as the conversation progresses. So it's
Okay.
just like
Sure.
when we're listing like, what we like about the cover or
that's
like what we like about the album. So
that's what I'm thinking. We should
yeah,
it should
okay.
be kind of as we discuss about like you can say what you like or what this album do you think this album is a classic and then you kind of describe what makes it a classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of to start us off, um I know Trey's or Chikari's I know Chikari's music taste a lot because we were friends in high school, so I kind of know your music taste a lot more than I think I know Ollie's. So I kind of want
Yeah.
Ollie to go first. So Ollie, what are your like some modern music classics in the post 2011 era?
Oh man. Um. Well, because the internet, for sure. That's like the album that got me into music in general. So for me personally, that's one. Um. Honestly, a lot of Childish Gambino's work.
Yeah, his early stuff
Camp,
is like, yeah, yeah. His early stuff is crazy.
Camp was amazing as well. Um. Hmm. I gotta. I'm
You
sorry,
gotta
I
pull up
wasn't
the
really too
Spotify.
prepared.
You gotta pull up the
Yeah, I'm on it
Spotify
right
real
now.
quick. Um, I'll throw one out real quick because this
Yeah.
album was highly influential in my life. It's actually they're two Kendrick albums that I think
Yeah.
defined hip hop for like 6 or 7 years.
I think
So
they're
I'm gonna
still
say
good. If the
uh,
ones you're talking about, if what you're talking about, I'm guessing, then I think they're still
yeah. Oh well, yeah. Everybody knows what I'm gonna say. To Pimp a Butterfly and Good
Section
Kid,
80.
Mad City
Oh,
are
okay.
no. I think Good Kid, Mad City has more influence in Section 80.
I
Um,
can see that. I can see that.
but those two albums, especially when they came out, were really kind of like where I was like, okay, rap is really something, and I need to absorb this. Like those two albums are what got me into like kind of like what Ollie was saying, music as a whole. And so I think about To Pimp a Butterfly, especially growing up in the time we were all growing up, especially three out of the four of us being black and kind of know what was all going on the news during that time. To hear an album like To Pimp a Butterfly, I think that was the first time I probably cried to an album.
Hmm.
Hearing that because like just seeing I like I vividly remember staying up all night with my mom looking at the Trayvon Martin stuff.
Yeah.
So like that type
Mhm.
of stuff, this album kind of talking about it and kind of in words that I didn't have as a child to kind of describe how I was feeling was so powerful to me. And then I go back to Good Kid, Mad City a lot too. The difference with that album for me is that it talks about a style of life I've never had to live. So
Hmm.
I've never been poor. I've never lived in the hood. I've never had those experiences. So kind of somebody talking about growing up in that type of environment was kind of like, okay, this is how it is for other people. I can see how it is for other people in ways I couldn't visualize it before. I kind of couldn't understand it before. So I think those two albums right there great, just
Yeah.
post 2011 albums that have like defined music. It kind of defined my life as a whole
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah. I think
I don't know.
definitely going along like the idea of like albums that have not only like defined music but defined us individually, like some rap songs like changed my life. Like I think it's less than 30 minutes long, but like I have like record I ever bought. It like some rap songs. It just like it changed what I thought rap had to be. Like in just seeing like how some rap song has like influenced a generation of people afterwards. Like there's so many rappers who I don't think we get if some rap songs don't come out. Like I don't think we get Red Veil without some rap songs, But
I
just
love
like
Red Veil.
yeah,
I
he's
met him in
I
amazing.
person.
think
He's
I
great.
agree with that.
I met
Yeah.
him in person. He's such a cool dude.
Yeah, and just like in the same way, and just like experimenting with sound too. Like I don't think like guys like Jay, like Danny Brown's been around for a long time, but I think like even like something like "Scaring the Hose" that just came out, I don't think you get that without like some rap songs being like it's okay to make weird music. Not that it wasn't happening before, but him being like this is what I'm
But
doing.
he
This is the way.
like Earl made it popular
Yeah,
ish.
like he was just like this is the wave I'm on now. Like you either can get with it or not.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
and,
Earl
and he's
Sweatshirt
been doing it.
definitely. Earl Sweatshirt. I mean, Odd Future in general have had so
Yeah,
much influence. Like they were the last. Like I think out of all the rap groups that have ever existed, they probably were the most. I was. I actually. I might say this. Like one of the most influential rap groups
yeah,
because
easily. I mean, it's between them and
you
Wu Tang.
yeah, it's basically them and yeah, Wu Tang. Brockhampton sucks. So uh, I'm not joking about that. Brockhampton slander all day. But if I want one of those little the little muskets with 5 barrels on the end, so I could take them all out at once.
Well, they broke up, so you're good, man.
I know that was the happiest day of my life. I was out there dancing in the street.
Oh my
I
god.
was praying. I was praying on the downfall heavy. Um, but our future is so like I definitely also growing up in that era, I was like, oh, there are weird black people who exist who are like me too, who I don't
Yeah,
have to feel like alone in that feeling.
yeah, I definitely
Um,
think that's like and like another thing that stands out. Not just about like Earl, but Odd Future as a whole. Like everything they did was just like unique and like an embracing of like being yourself as opposed to like what people think you should be or what people think rap should be. And
yeah,
like just like every like even Flower Boy, like Flower Boy is another album, but I'll get to that later because that's like a spiel. But some rap songs like and it's just timeless. Like I think the emotional element of the album, how it uses chaos to like represent sadness. Like it's something I go back to like now, like after my dad died, like this is like the first album I listened to. And I was like, okay, this guy gets it. Like he understands. He like because the album came out, like he was because like if you don't know, Earl was gone for like a few years,
yeah,
yeah, well that's like the second time he's gone for a few years, but like his brother died and he just like came back, he released this. Like I remember me and Ollie talking about Nowhere to Go because that was the first single released for his album. We're like, this is crazy. But going listening to it now, I'm just like, this is like probably one of like the most like earnest records I've ever listened to. Just because like it doesn't
straight from
hide.
the
It's
heart.
just yeah, it's just like It's just sad and like even more so than I don't like shit. I don't go outside. It's just like despair, and it portrays that so like beautifully through like abstract sounds and like samples and just like how it does it. Like Navy Blues production on this thing is like crazy, like it's insane. But yeah, some rap songs easily like one of my most iconic albums ever.
And I don't know if Alex knows this, but Odd Future back in the day, they were still they came from the blog era where you still had to kind of go out and discover music.
Yeah,
You don't have
they
Spotify,
were
like
popping up on MySpace. Yeah,
yeah, like streaming wasn't as good as it was now. People were still downloading stuff off LimeWire, and I was gonna say Live Leak. That's the complete wrong website. LimeWire, and dude, I remember like they would get like big retailers were refused to sell their records because of like how they
yeah,
like the stuff they would talk about. Tyler the Creator was banned from the United
Yeah.
Kingdom.
Oh, I thought it was
Um,
New Zealand. Yeah, he got banned from
He was-
something.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it was the United Kingdom. He
I
was
think so,
banned
yeah.
from there.
And
And
New Zealand.
and New Zealand. Oh, bro. Hey, they were all British colonies, anyways. But yeah, they were super, like Trey was saying, just super influential in our kind
Yeah.
of modern music.
Yeah, I feel like people forget about a lot of the group, but like they had like Sid and even the people who weren't in it but associated with like Sid, Steve Lacy, Vince Staples, like they had so many people who were like basically we haven't seen a group of so many like forward thinking artists since Wu-Tang. Like it's crazy how like they just had a group of so many people who were like
I think
who pushed
even
music forward. Yeah,
at the same time with them, it was ASAP Mob. So it was like them and ASAP Mob was
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
the only people kind of doing what they were doing.
yeah.
I'll say this easily: the only person out of ASAP Mob to really blow up is Rocky. So
And
like,
Ferg. Outside of ASAP Rocky and ASAP Ferg, like it's really just
yeah,
and Yams. I'll say ASAP Yams too. R.I.P.
yeah, Yams. I mean, he blew up and then he passed away. Like he didn't get to really experience
Yeah.
the fame. But I mean, still, even Ferg blew up. But like nobody talks about Ferg anymore. Everybody talks about Rocky. Like
Yeah.
everybody talks about Rocky.
He's also Major
Um,
Atlanta now, so I guess that helps.
yeah. Oh, dude, should have been me. It should have been me. Um, but Ali, kind of, what are some ones that you have?
Um, I don't even know. I was just lost in thought listening to y'all. Like I was listening to y'all, but like
Just thinking and contemplating.
yeah.
I mean, other albums that I can look at as like iconic, like, and I guess more recently, but Melt Your Eyes, See the Future. Like, I think just another album that like just plays with sound so well. And with that album, it's not even just sound; it's just like storytelling, like crafting a narrative. Because the film is based on what like it's like based on like old. Well, no, the album is based on like a lot of this old samurai films, kind of. So just kind of the narrative of like redemption and self betterment, like that we see
Wait,
Denzel
which
Curry take.
album?
Melt Your
Oh,
Eyes, See the
Denzel.
Future.
Yeah, Melt Your Eyes, See Your Future. Yeah.
Yeah, like just kind of the narrative we see the album take about him as a person. Yeah, just like easily one of the best albums of 2020 to me. Like it's just like this is an album that I think is gonna be iconic later on, but I think the cover sucks. Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. I think the album is amazing, but the cover sucks.
Oh yeah, the cover of that album does suck.
Yeah.
And Alex, do you have any initial kind of thoughts or ideas on some iconic albums that you can think of?
I've been trying to look through like lists on like different websites who have made lists of like top 100 like iconic albums since 2010, and not really. I mean, I haven't really heard of a lot of these. I mean, the ones that I have heard are like Drake or like Chance the
We can talk
Rapper.
about Drake. We can talk about Drake.
Drake, the one trying to hide his kids from the world, but the world don't want to forget. Drake.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look it up. Lady Gaga put Born This Way out in 2011.
God, that was only in 2011. Man, I feel old. Let's talk about Drake for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm calling by his government.
That is something. Oh, Aubrey.
Yeah, Aubrey Graham. I want to discuss you a little bit. Now, as a student of the game, I can't deny the influence that Sir Aubrey Graham has had on the industry of rap, the industry of hip hop. And I will say this about him. I don't want to give him too much credit. I don't want to say he's talented, but I will give him credit that he knows how to build an album. And I feel like
I feel like
if you talk about, okay, not his newer stuff. So like if we go, okay, if we
the one with
go,
21 Savage was pretty good.
yeah, that was a good one.
Was it Her Loss?
Yeah, Her Loss. But I mean, like
Yeah.
Certified Lover Boy was it was terrible.
Was trash.
Yeah.
So if you do his run from Take Care, which was released in 2011, to Scorpion in 2018, I think all of those albums, except for What a Time to Be Alive, were all told stories very well. Like you think about Views.
Yeah.
Views.
Right.
First off, that's one of the most iconic covers I could kind of think of in modern hip hop. Like everybody thinks of, if you talk about Drake, they probably think of two albums, right? They probably think of the Nothing Was the Same cover with him with the pick in the hair as a kid, or they think of the Views cover, because I think those are his two best covers, because the rest of them are very poorly photoshopped. But those albums, he told stories well, and I'm not gonna deny him his talent. Like I understand the fact that it's all ghost written, but he still has a voice and he still puts it out in a way that I don't think a lot of artists can, especially in those albums. Like you think of More Life, like Passion Fruit. Oh my god,
You like More Life?
Passion Fruit. I love More Life. I freaking all of More Life. I love all of that. I mean, he's got Georgia Smith on that, and she's my wife. So,
Oh boy.
and then you think of Nothing Was the Same. Like, come on, Wu Tang Forever, Worst Behavior, Hold On, We're Going Home. Come on, you can't tell me those ain't classic songs.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody
I would
knows
say
what
they're
Hold On, We're
classics,
Going.
but I just can't get behind Drake. It's
It's
I don't
it's
know. I don't
hard.
know if it's
corny.
just
It's
me,
hard.
He's corny.
but it's just like a mix of his voice and then like outside of music, he's just weird. I just don't like him.
He's corny. He's corny. He's corny.
He's been the corny light skinned dude has been his thing since he popped up in scene.
Since Degrassi.
Yeah. when they were forcing him to walk around in a wheelchair, wheel himself around in a wheelchair. He's been
walk around in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I did, but we're gonna skip right past that. Wheel himself around in a wheelchair. Did he get shot in Degrassi? I
Yes,
distinctly
he did.
remember him.
Yeah, he's paralyzed.
Isn't that what got him in the wheelchair?
Yeah, it was a shooting.
Okay, I thought he was in the wheelchair already, and then he got shot again.
Yeah.
That'd be more hilarious. He got shot twice. But yeah, I don't. Okay, I was gonna say one last thing. I don't want to disrespect Drake because I do think he deserves his flowers for what he did, but I mean, most of his more modern stuff is kind of mid.
I want to bring it back to something that Jason said that we were gonna touch on later, which is Drake rap or is he hip hop?
He's like pop rap.
Does he rap?
Most of his stuff.
He does.
I wouldn't call Honestly Nevermind a rap album, but I mean, I think it falls into the realm of hip hop, but I'd be hard pressed to call it a rap album.
He used to rap a lot more than he does now. Now he's just he's a pop artist. I don't even.
I would say he's on the fence right now.
Right now, I think if we're talking about like older Drake, I definitely would say like because he's kind of always been like a more melodic rapper, which I don't know, which isn't bad. Obviously, there's lots of melodic, but I think now it's just like I don't know, man. He's just like I think he's kind of trapped in this thing where he always be considered a rapper because of the type of music that he made previously. So even if he doesn't make rap stuff, people get oh he's a rapper. So it's kind of I don't know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like
get that,
he's right on that line.
Yeah. But I mean, like, to me, if you ask me, like, who's an iconic artist from post 2010 or 2011, the first person that comes to mind is Drake.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's because he's been making music, like, very popular music, for a very long time.
Yeah, and I think, like, for someone like Alex, who's not like like really that into music. Drake's music is easily accessible. Like I think when and that can be like I think that's a positive and a negative for Drake. His music is easy accessible. Like Text Go Green, for whatever it's worth, some people can relate to that. Is it the most like insightful song? No, but like people relate to it. Some people relate to Her Loss or Certified Lover Boy. Some people like it's to me it's all surface level, but for other people it's not, and they can like gather like they can feel the type of emotion he's putting out. So like I don't know, like the surface level music that Drake makes, there's positives and negatives to it, but I think it's part of what has made him iconic, and it's part of what's given him staying power for this long. In my opinion.
And I mean, for me at least, it's not even like the emotion he's putting out. It's like I said, I don't listen to it for the message or the words. It's like Drake just has good sounding music.
Yeah.
He puts out radio songs.
I know.
Like if radio was as popular, like especially when he started, back when radio was still the big thing, like he puts out songs that you could put on Hot 97 and listen to, or Power 98.
People won't care.
Yeah. And that's just what he is. That's his niche. That's what he found. That's what he does.
And for me, who is just at that same surface level, that's why he's the first person that comes to mind.
Yeah, and that's okay. Do you think
Well-
that any other artists kind of like that for you, where it's like this person doesn't give me any more than I need, and that's why I like them?
Say that one more time.
Do you think there's any like other artists kind of like that, who are like this person like is easy to just listen to? They don't really like. I don't need to like. I don't guess like context to listen to them. It's just like they make music that I can just turn on.
I think that was the Migos when they were still together.
Yeah. Okay.
Rip. I think you get a lot more of that in the pop category. Like
True.
you get your
yeah,
Dua
in pop.
Lipas.
Oh yeah. Dua Lipa for sure. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but I don't know. I mean, Harry Styles a little bit.
Oh God, that's a trigger word for me. I forget see red when I see that man. Yeah. Dude, when I saw him at the end of Eternals, I was literally upset. I was physically upset.
Harry Styles?
Yeah, when he showed up at the end of it, the post-credit scene for Eternals, I was like, oh man.
Yeah. White women do love Harry Styles.
Why? He's so mediocre looking. He looks so average. Why? Why? Why?
I think I saw this somewhere. Harry Styles is the Drake of like pop music. Like it's just easily accessible. Like,
He is. That is such a good analogy. That
his
right
music,
there.
like you don't need depth. There's no depth, and that's like what makes him popular. Like
Yeah, that's facts. That's a perfect way to put that. He is the Drake. He's as to pop what Drake is to hip hop. That rap. That's
I would say
wow.
I feel like an artist who like doesn't get enough credit. And I'm not like a big Taylor Swift fan, but I like Taylor Swift.
You don't think she gets enough credit?
Not like
What?
how do I say
What?
this? Like, because I'm not saying
She's selling out concerts all over the world.
I just feel
She doesn't get credit in music circles. Like to be real,
I think that's what I'm
like-
trying to say. Like for the like people who I feel like within like music snobs, like it's like, oh, she's just Taylor Swift. But like I think Taylor Swift, like I think she gets a lot of credit, obviously. But I think she could get more credit.
Do you think she was more? Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say like what Trey like I get exactly what you're trying to say. Like to people like us and to people who listen deeply to music or something like that, she doesn't get as much credit, but
I mean,
she
her
gets
voice is
highly
but her last couple
influential.
albums,
Do you think she
Yeah,
was
like,
more
like-
iconic when she was country or now that she's pop?
Oh, now that she's pop easily.
Now that she's pop, most definitely.
Yeah, the country stuff was whatever. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I care about folklore though. Folklore is a banger.
I am judging you highly for saying that, but I can't deny it because it is a fact. I'm looking at you differently. It's a fact, but I'm looking at you differently for saying that.
Champagne poetry? Ah, yes, sir.
You have
Can
to
I-
say it in
oh.
like a Valley Girl accent.
Oh,
Like that's how
Can I throw out a name that I would consider iconic?
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
Ooh. Yeah. Up
I
mean,
until like
yeah.
2014.
What music?
Yeah. I'd say Justin Bieber up until like 2015.
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
was big.
just think about how much he meant to so many people.
Yeah.
I guess, man.
And what is he doing now? Nothing.
I mean, he put out one of the
He's
worst
still
songs
making
ever.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yummy.
he's putting out AI generated music at this point. It has to be. I refuse to believe anybody can write that trash.
Isn't he like a
Um,
Like
super
Post
Christian
Malone.
yeah.
Hey, he made Sunflower.
But his most recent stuff has been
Oh yeah.
ooh.
Dude,
So
once Post Malone denied the fact that he was a rap artist, you could see the quality in his music decrease.
yeah.
Like you have his first album, he's like, this is clearly a hip hop rap inspired album. Then he came out and said, "Yeah, don't call me a rapper. I'm not a rapper." And then you can see just he go downhill like a plane into the ground.
I do think we got a little off topic, but I think that we've branched off into something that I do want to clarify, which is what is the difference between classic and iconic?
Ooh.
I would say that I think a classic album is just like the quality is undeniable. You know, I think like you can't, something like To Pimp a Butterfly, right? So like you can't like, unless you're trying to be like a contrarian, you can't deny how good it is. Whereas an iconic album, because I think an album can be classed as being iconic, because like I think iconic to me just means like it's known, like people remember it and has like staying power. You know what I'm saying? So like yeah, I hope that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, like an iconic album. I think an iconic album can also be a classic album. Like
Yeah,
you think about like Travis Scott, right?
yeah,
Astro World is an iconic album.
yeah.
I don't think it's a classic album because it does nothing new. It's very much paint by the numbers rap album. Like it has
Yeah,
all the features it needs to be successful.
yeah,
You know, it has all the transitions, the beat types, you know. It's a very iconic album, but nothing about that screams classic to me because nothing about that is unique. I feel like
yeah,
when you talk about classic albums, I think when you talk about music that has surpassed the test of time, there's always something unique about it. Like I genuinely think in 30 years, there's gonna be kids going back and be like, oh, this is To Pimp a Butterfly. Like what he's talking about right here in this album perfectly encapsulates the black experience during this time. And
yeah,
people are not gonna be saying the same about anything Travis Scott has done.
yeah. But even then, I would say something like kind of we're talking about like some rap songs. I would say some rap songs is a classic album, but it isn't iconic. I don't think like I think for the people who like that type of music, it'll obviously be remembered for how influential it is. But I don't think like the general public is ever gonna be like, oh my god, remember when Earl Sweatshirt put out some rap songs? Like not like how people are like remember Thriller or remember um yeah
Yeah.
Lemonade or something like that. So
Mhm.
Or even when you think about like a good example of that would be MF Doom.
yeah,
Like MF Doom's been putting out music for forever. He was a rapper's rapper. Like all his music were classics,
yeah,
but like, he didn't start to become iconic until like the post. I would start saying like 2016. People kind of because of things like Spotify, people were
yeah,
discovering his music a lot more, and then he became iconic later. But his albums were classic first, like
yeah.
Food and
His covers
Doomsday.
on the topic, like all of his covers are like fantastic.
Yeah.
Every single even before he became Member of Doom, even the KMD covers are
Yeah.
classics.
That does bring up
Uh,
a really good question that I wanted to ask is how much does the cover influence how iconic something is?
what
Oh
do you think,
man,
Ollie?
I don't know because I feel like they go hand in hand, right? Because the cover should mean something to the songs in the album, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's 50-50.
So it can't have a bad album cover, or it can. The music can speak for itself.
Well, I think can because like I said, the album cover for Let's Start Here is bad, but I I think it helps when the album cover is like, you know, is representative of what the album is about. Like you look at something like Dark Side of the Moon with that cover,
Right.
like it's kind of just like reinforces the music and like kind of just like the greatness of it, or even like the Abbey Road cover where the Beatles are walking on Abbey Road. It's just like, yeah, I think like you can have a bad cover, but it helps be remembered when that cover is like,
I
good.
think I think a really good example of this actually is Rage Against the Machine's first album, self-titled. Rage Against the Machine is the Pulitzer Prize winning photo of the Buddhist monk in Vietnam setting himself on fire.
Right.
Famous photo. And then the single track that came from that, which is also the most famous song from that whole album, is "Killing of a Name," which is about police brutality. It's
Mm.
about police brutality, about racism in the police force. And so I think the cover reinforces the ideas of the album. I feel like because of that, it kind of helps build the album as something greater. Like if it was a photo of all the band members, like if it was like a Weezer photo cover, and it's just the band members, and they're over here talking about police brutality and the Ku Klux Klan and all that type of stuff. It's like it doesn't fit. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't. If I bought that album and it's the guys from Weezer and they're talking about F the police, I'm gonna be really confused. Um, so I feel like I feel like a classic album more than not is gonna have a easily as iconic cover tied to it.
Okay.
Even newer example of that is a To Pimp a Butterfly cover of them in front of the White House.
Yeah.
A bunch of the black people in front of the White House. I forget. I think there is a dead police officer or is it a judge or something like that. I don't remember who it is on the front.
I'm not sure.
But that is also iconic.
You know whose
Gotcha.
covers are amazing? Lil B.
Oh, dude, Lil B's covers are
Dude, Lil
freaking
B stuff, like those bling rap covers we were talking about early 2000s, dude, that's Lil
yeah,
B, bro.
yeah. Lil B is highly influential, but he does not get his flowers like he's supposed to.
Not nearly enough, man. Not nearly enough. Like how we were talking about Earl, made it okay to do like sound weird. Dude, him, nice JJ Fish.
Ice JJ Fish is classic.
Exactly.
Classic internet moment right there.
Okay, so I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is it better to be iconic or classic? And that's coming from there's overlap between being iconic and being classic, or
Yes.
is the prestige of them so different that you can't be better than the other by being iconic or being classic?
Man, that's a tough question, I think. Because like when I think about that, I don't know if you guys saw season 4 of Atlanta with that one episode with where they kind of had like,
I have not.
yeah, well, in season 4 of Atlanta, there's this one episode where there's this MF Doom esque character who like kind of has this whole like scavenger hunt. Yeah, he's like everyone knows he's a good rapper, but like he kind of dies with a lot of people not knowing him. But like, and I think that's kind of I think it's all about what you're trying to achieve mostly. I think I would say classic, but I think if a lot of people want to be remembered what they contribute, they don't want to be forgotten with time. So I think like it's hard because like I think I would say iconic because then your work is remembered, but I think like the quality, like it's like a give and take. Like that's a tough question.
I think it depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah.
Like when you think about somebody like MF Doom, who even though he was a highly talented rapper and has some really classic albums,
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's hard to say if that he might have preferred to have been the
Yeah.
iconic stadium selling artist. But I feel like it comes down to what you want from your music. Like,
Yeah.
do I think Drake would trade his mansions and his cars and his private jet to perform in front of a crowd of 100 people, but know that those 100 people are his most diehard fans? He might, but we're never gonna know that. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard to decide which one that you want,
Yeah.
and like because I feel like Wow, that's a good question, Alex, because it all kind of comes down to what you want out of your music. Like, I feel like when you actually want something out of what you're making, when you're not making something just for radio play like a Drake, you're gonna want more. You know, it doesn't come with as much recognition. It doesn't come with the iconic status. It doesn't come with the full stadium sold out. You're gonna be like Earl Sweatshirt, who might sell out like what is it called? What do we have here? What's the name of the place we have here?
The Fillmore.
The Fillmore. But he ain't gonna sell out Spectrum Center,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of how it is.
Right. Right. Okay. What do you think, Ali?
I agree with
Okay.
with Jason.
With the music that you listen to specifically, do you think that it is more classic or it's more iconic? The artists themselves.
I would say more iconic. I feel like something classic has to like stand the test of time, and I don't think it's gonna do that. Like, I think in 10 years I'd probably be listening to something totally different
I can
Okay.
listen
for
to
the most
Tupac for
part.
10 years. Oh my god, no.
I mean, well, who knows? We'll see.
We'll see.
Probably not. Or we'll probably have kids by then. I don't want them to hear all that.
Yeah. I don't. So like, kind of going with our overall topic, Ali. I don't know if you've had any like big suggestions for our list. I kind of have right now, which is a very short list, but I have To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, um, some rap songs. I have Drake on the list. I haven't put down a specific album because I feel like that's a much deeper conversation.
Sure. Is
Um,
this specifically just rap?
Yeah, I
it,
was
it,
gonna
it,
add
it's genre.
I was gonna add damn, what's his name? Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Mm.
Blonde, that's a good one. Uh, Alex, to answer your question, it's not all rap or hip hop, but I kind of think that's just kind of where V, Ali, and Chikari kind of all
Mhm.
overlap the
Gotcha.
most.
Makes
So
sense.
I feel like that's kind of like where we're gonna gravitate to because I always think that I think that's can I speak for all of us and say that's kind of like our primary genres of music that we
Yeah.
kind of stick to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, one I want to add to this list, I think is we're gonna start hearing its influence in a couple of years is "Veteran" by JPEG Mafia.
Oh,
I
we're
feel
already
like
hearing it, man. We're already hearing
yeah,
it.
we're already hearing it, but "Veteran" by JPEG Mafia, first off, let me say I love you, Peggy. If you ever hear this, I saw you in Charlotte. Um, I'm not
Did
gay,
you
but
know
please,
Ollie didn't with JPEG Mafia like that?
Ali, what?
I I think I just have to get used to the sound, okay? Because like even with Kendrick Lamar, when I first started listening to him, I just couldn't because like his voice just sounded like too like nasally and annoying. Like,
Let him know.
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
I warmed up to it. I'm
Let him
you're
know.
hitting me in my
Let him know how you
heart.
feel. How you feel, man?
You're hitting
I
me
love
in my
Kendrick
heart.
now. I love Kendrick now, but
Let him
God,
know.
man,
Let him know, man.
Jesus. Like, oh man, you hit me in my heart. That hurt a little bit. But I remember when I first got into JPEG Mafia, it was a little bit after Black Ben Carson came out. Um, and I was just listening to that album because I was like, this makes no sense. What is he talking about? What is he doing? But I was like, sat down. I was like, oh, okay. I'm actually listening to it. And I was like, oh, okay. So all these beats are beats made from scratch. Like these are all beats made from scratch. Okay. Now what is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about like Black Ben Carson. The first song on the album is Drake era. He's talking about the Drake era and the blog era of rap and how kind of detrimental it was to the overall thing. When you get to an album like Veteran, which it's very you know, if this was the '90s, this album would have been banned. They wouldn't have sold it. But you think of a song like "My Thoughts on NeoGaf Dying," talking about something so Like that requires like 10 years of freaking internet culture to understand. On top of that, or I cannot wait till Morrissey dies. Morrissey is the singer of the Smiths, right? Um, who was like said some crazy racist stuff. Um,
Not Morrissey.
yeah, Morrissey. Ugh. You know, Duck Tears. Man, I love Duck Tears. Duck Tears is a great song. So I think about those, and I'm like, okay. Um, yeah, going back to Blackman Carson, he's got a song called "I Just Killed a Cop and Now I'm Horny," and literally the track is literally a video recording of a police officer dying in the line of fire, but it's
Jesus.
yeah, it's crazy. But when you listen to it, at first you're like, "Man, this is out of pocket." But when you listen to it again and you're trying to listen to what the words that he's saying, it's like, "Oh, I understand now." Um, but yeah, I wanted to kind of speak on that. JPEG Mafia, I definitely put on the list. Um, let's put do what would you say ASAP Rocky's defining album is?
I mean, it has to be testing, right? Like, it has to be.
That's
You
Well,
think
that's
it's
what I would
testing?
say. Maybe Long Live ASAP or
yeah.
At Long Last ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me look, because like I feel like a lot of people know him for like I feel like let me look, because like
well,
I mean,
I'll say this
LSD. Excuse me.
yeah, uh, among people who listen to Rocky, they say Testing is his worst album, and they
really I
say
like
that yeah,
testing.
they say At Long Last ASAP or Long Live ASAP is
Yeah,
his best because
yeah,
that was you know he was part of that genre of cloud rap, that
yeah.
early SoundCloud era, and
He
then
was
you get
Travis Scott
something.
before Travis Scott.
Yeah, he was literally Travis Scott before Travis Scott, hair and everything. So you get into an album like Testing, which is a very different sound.
Yeah.
And his newer stuff too. Out of those 4 albums, though, Testing is also one of his most popular albums too.
He's 4 albums.
Yeah, that's 4. Well, I think no, Purple Swag. Is that Live Love ASAP or is that Live Love ASAP? Yeah. I don't know. It's counted as an album in title, but I
Okay.
don't know if that was originally an EP.
Okay.
Um,
It just says
but
mixtape.
yeah, so
But I mean, as we
ah,
said,
Basically
for
an
the
album.
sake of today, we'll consider EPs albums.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
But
also
out of
want
those
to. Oh,
4,
go ahead.
oh sorry, I was gonna say out of the 4, I would say um, Long Live ASAP is his most iconic with his song "Effing Problems, Bro." And that song was
Yeah.
everywhere.
I just wanted to say that we have gone a little bit over an hour already. Is there anything else you want to talk about today? We want to keep
I just
going?
want to say The Divine Feminine by Mac Miller.
Okay,
Chef's kiss.
rest in peace, Mac Miller.
I don't know if it's just because like I love Mac Miller and like I was like looking at tickets when I heard about when he died and that just like wrecked me.
Yeah.
But
So you didn't
I
get the
just love
ticket.
Mac Miller.
Whoa, whoa.
No, leave that in.
Uh,
Leave that in. Leave that in.
leave that in, leave that in. You know, as a big Kanye fan, I have to get my flowers in for Kanye. Watch for Throne and Yeezus are probably in the top 5 of Kanye's best and most influential albums.
You like Yeezus?
God, I love Yeezus, dude. Black Skinhead?
Oh, no.
Yes. You don't like Yeezus?
No.
Oh, okay, you're wrong. Just to let you
Make
know.
you feel better. I don't like Pablo either.
You don't like what?
I don't like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I don't like Michael
We can't be
Pablo.
friends anymore. You're kicked off the podcast. You're kicked off the podcast immediately.
Don't My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
It's not
Bro,
bad.
Chikari.
Oh my god, that's not. It's not bad, is what I'm saying. But and I'm not saying it isn't influential. But people who are acting like it's this perfect album, I disagree. I've
So
listened to
you
it over and over
listen.
again.
So you listen to So Appalled, Devil in a New Dress, and Runaway, in that exact order, and you said this album is garbage.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, that's
I like
basically what you're saying.
those.
That's
I like
basically what
those
you're saying.
songs. I'm saying okay. I like those songs. I'm just saying there's songs on it that I don't like. Let me look at the album. Let me look at the track list real quick.
You listen to All of the Lights,
That's not.
and you
I
listen to
like that
Power.
song.
You listen to Power. No one man should have all that power. You listen to that album, and you're gonna come here. You're gonna come here on this podcast. All
Okay,
right.
so you like Monster?
I like the whole album. I like the
guess-
whole album from beginning to
Okay,
end.
maybe it's just me, but I'm not saying it's like terrible. I'm just saying it's not like the greatest album ever made.
I'm gonna have to hit you with some electroshock therapy. That's crazy. That's
Life-
crazy.
Is
The
this
Life of Pablo was mid though.
I'll allow that.
If
Yeah. Okay.
all right?
it makes you feel
Is
better
this where we
about
should
it.
end the podcast for today?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Okay,
end
Jason,
you
you
wanna
want
read
to read us off
My
our list?
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy being trash. And yeah.
Oh wow.
Jesus bad, Life of Pablo bad, Yay is amazing. Jesus King.
Shut up! Stop it!
Jason,
This,
how about,
this
you,
might be our
how
last
about you
episode.
read us
All right.
off our list one more time?
All right. So we're definitely gonna need to do a part 2 of this episode, everybody, because we did not get very far. Because I'll tell you right now, we could be here forever. So starting
I can
the
tell.
list,
That's why I said it's probably a good time to wrap it up.
To Pimp a Butterfly, we're gonna put Good Kid, Mad City, some rap songs. I put Drake on here because I don't know specifically which album to put. Blonde, Veteran by JPEG Mafia, Long Live ASAP, Define Feminine by Mac Miller, Yeezus by Kanye, and Watch for Throne by Kanye. No, and then just because I'm the one reading the list, we're gonna add where's Kanye West at on title? Come on, Kanye, you need to go faster, load faster. We're gonna add Donda and Jesus is King and Kid C
Oh,
Ghost and
oh,
yeah.
no. Oh,
Um,
no. Okay. Let's.
Okay, y'all.
All right.
So, anybody in the audience listening, if you disagree with us, please let me know. DM me on Twitter.
No, follow us on Twitter. We got an Instagram, we got a Twitter. It's at OTOTPod on both platforms.
Yeah, you can reach out to me and you can tell me what you think. I'm gonna ignore you because I'm right, but no, I'm joking. But you can reach out, tell us if you disagree or if you have any things that you think we missed. I feel like we stick a lot to rap in this, so I think we definitely need to expand. But yeah, that's it. Anything else you guys want to add before we close it
My
out?
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy made Kid C Ghost better.
All right, Jason, you ready to end this?
Yeah, let's end this.
You want to tell them what we're doing next week?
Okay, guys, reach back or hit us back up. Next week we're talking about our favorite games. Or I should specify favorite video games. Don't talk about Sorry or Scrabble.
We're also
darn
going to
it.
talk about what makes a video game great and
Yeah,
how
well,
that is represented through our favorite games.
Yeah. Alex has he can say it better than I can. All right.
I'm gonna let you
Catch
go
y'all
now.
next time.
Yeah.
Deuces.
All right, goodbye.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah.